I'm absolutely certain that all of us has done that when we were kids. Our first piece of art might be on the walls, floors, important documents of dad and moms and whatnot. What if I tell you your doodles like this can become masterpieces? Don't believe me? Okay then, grab your pen because today we are going to turn these scribbles into art in Photoshop and turn an image like this into something like this. Hello everyone, it's good to be back and I wish you a very happy new year. For those who are new here, welcome to Dexplorion. I am Didi and here on this channel we design in Photoshop and share the process with you, and in due course we discuss various tools, techniques and tips and tricks which will improve your workflow and level up your graphic design game. The effect seems to be complicated, but believe me, it's not. It's just using a particular brush, but there is a twist. If you have been on this channel, you know we have used custom brushes for many of our creations, but this is for the first time we will be using a custom brush which is truly made by ourselves. Yes, you heard it right. It will be truly custom made, and once you learn this technique, you will be able to make your own brushes in future. After creating the effect, we will be enhancing it with few adjustment layers and blend modes. So without wasting any more time, let's jump right in and allow me to show you how it's done. We're gonna straightway create the canvas of our desired size and drag and drop the image onto the canvas. And if you like this image and want to know where I got this image from, this is from a website called lumi.ai. Frankly, it is becoming one of my personal favorites. In here, you will get hyper-realistic AI generated images and the collection is awesome. And the amazing thing is, the website is being regularly updated with new images. I see fresh images every time I visit the website. And do you know what's the best part? All the images are absolutely free for personal and commercial use, though they also have a pro version for exclusive professional needs, but I think for most of the cases, free version is enough. I would suggest you to have a look and you will thank me for that. Now getting back, first convert your image into a smart object. Ours is already a smart object, and also if your image is a colored one, you also have to turn it black and white. I'm sure you know how to do that, so I'm skipping that part. And then we'll enhance the image a little so that we can use it in our way, and for that we go to image, adjustments and click on levels. We'll adjust the sliders here, make the shadows darker, adjust the midtones and then pump up the highlights. We're gonna do that to an extent till we have primarily two colors in the image, that is black and white. If there is a little bit of gray, it's okay, don't worry for that. We are done here, and now we go to select and click on color range. Here in the select drop down, we have to select the highlights. You can adjust the fuzziness if you want. I'll set it to 10. Then we have the range here. This basically determines the area we want to cover under the highlights. This looks fine. I'll keep it here and press OK, and you can see a selection being created here. Then we press here to apply a layer mask, and all the black parts are hidden behind the mask. But we don't want that. We want just the opposite. So keeping the layer mask selected, we will press Ctrl or Command I to invert the mask, and now we have all the shadow areas. And now we move ahead to create the effect, and before that I will be adding a solid color adjustment layer, make it white and place it at the bottom, and it will serve as our background. We'll keep it right here, and now click on home button and create a new canvas of 2000 by 2000 pixel dimension. Resolution will be 300 ppi and rest will remain the same, and in this we'll be creating our custom brush. For working on it properly, we're gonna fill this canvas with white, and for that, since white is our background color here, we'll press Ctrl or Command backspace and it will be filled with white. Now we take the brush tool, right click anywhere on the canvas to open the brush settings and select the hard round pressure brush. I've kept the brush size 4 pixels, and now I'm going to grab the pen of my graphic tablet. If you are using the mouse, then keep in mind the hard round pressure brush and the hard round normal brush will work the same, because mouse is not a pressure sensitive device, so you can choose either of the two. And we'll start scribbling and enjoy being a child again. Let's not get carried away with the fun and stop it here. Then we again go to image, adjustments and bring up the levels again and bring the shadow sliders towards the right to make the lines darker. Do the same with the mid-tone sliders to make it even darker, and after you are satisfied, hit OK. Now we go to edit menu and click on define brush preset. Here you can set a name for the brush we created. I have already created 3 other brushes with different brush sizes, but we will be using only this one. After clicking OK, our custom made brush is created. Amazing, isn't it? And if you want this amazement to go on, then please hit the thumbs up button to like this video and help the channel to grow. And if you want to learn creating more such amazing effects like this, then subscribing the channel will be a great move, and pressing the bell icon will ensure that you get notified of all my future videos. We no longer need this, so we'll close it without saving it and go back to our main canvas. And now if we take the brush tool and right click to open the brush settings, down here we'll find our scribble brush we just created, and now we're gonna use it to create the effect. But before doing that, we have few more steps to do. Keeping the layer selected, we go to channels panel here and click on any of this red, green or blue channel. We have to make a selection of that. And how do we do that? Hold the controller command key and click on the icon of the red channel, and it will activate the selection. You will notice that some parts are still left out of the selection, and we're gonna include them by using the quick selection tool and paint over those areas to include them in the selection. I'm done, and now keeping the selection active, we go back to the layers panel and add a new layer by clicking here and add a layer mask to it. Did you notice any change? You haven't, right? But if you turn off the visibility of the image layer, everything will be gone. Don't worry, it will come back and it will be in a better way. We have to do one more step here. We'll select the layer mask of this layer and invert it by pressing Ctrl or Command I. Then take the brush tool, click on the icon of the layer 1, and now paint with our scribble brush to create the effect. How cool is that? But there is a problem. The effect is not coming out as I want. So I'll press Ctrl or Command Z to undo, and now we go to Windows menu here and click to turn on the brush setting panel. And in the brush tip shape here, we'll increase the spacing to around 50%. Then go to shape dynamics. I will increase the angle jitter. This determines the change in the angle of the brush every time we click or paint. I'll set it to 20%. Then we'll adjust the size jitter a little, and it will make the brush size to change a little with every click. You can also adjust the roundness jitter. And now when we click on the canvas, our portrait is coming to life. We can make the brush size smaller or bigger by pressing the left or right square bracket keys. This will take a few trial and errors to get it the way you want, so take your time. This is already looking good. What do you say? But we are not done yet. We have to do few more things to transform this scribble into an art, and we'll do that in this part of the video. The first thing we're gonna do is rename the layer and then convert it into a smart object. We'll add a layer mask to it. Take the brush tool again, and this time select the hard round brush and mask out the extra unwanted strokes here at the top. Now if you notice carefully, the scribble lines are mostly broken along the edges, if not all, and we have to fix them to look it like an actual scribble. We have to do that manually, and we're gonna do that on a separate layer. We'll again take the brush tool and select the same brush we used to create the scribble, that is hard round pressure brush, and make the brush size 4 pixels as earlier and start joining the broken lines like this. You don't have to be very precise, and you can do it randomly. It all depends on you how far you want to go with your art. I'll leave out the hair part and do that on a separate layer. This is only for convenience. You can do it in the same layer, no issues with that. You can also add some extra scribbles to give it an artistic look like this. If you want or feel like, you can also add some more scribbles to fill up the empty areas. Let's rename this layer as edges. And now we're gonna do the hair part. This is before and this is after. I'll go back to the scribble layer and select the layer mask and then change the brush to hard round brush and mask out the extra broken lines like this. Draw some more scribbles. If you feel like you have overdone in some areas like me in this area, you can simply add a layer mask to the layer and mask them out as well. I'm done, and now to match the color of the scribbles of different layers, we can adjust their opacity. I'll rename this layer as hairs, and now you can see the before and after. We'll select all the three layers and press Ctrl or Command G to group them together and rename it as Subject Scribble Final. And now move on to the next step of adding a background to it. I want to add a texture in the background, and for that I have already downloaded a paper texture image from the texturelabs.org, another of my favorite website when it comes to textures, and we'll place it just above the color fill layer. Rotate it 90 degrees and resize it to fill the canvas. But the grains in the image looks a little bigger to me as compared to the dimension of the poster, so I will make it smaller. But now it's not covering the canvas. We have to fix it, and for that I have a trick for you. We'll turn off the visibility of the subject scribble layer for the time being, select the texture layer and right click here on the blank space and click on rasterize layer. Remember, this is important, otherwise the technique won't work. Now we go here and take the magic wand tool and click on the white space here to make a selection, then go to the select menu, then modify and click on expand. I will expand the selection by 10 pixels and hit OK. And you will notice the selection has expanded. And now we go to edit and either click on the fill or content aware fill. Both will work the same way, and wait it to generate the same texture and fill up the selected space. See how beautifully it's done. Press OK to confirm and it's done. Press Ctrl or Command D to deselect. Flawless, isn't it? Turn back on the scribble group layer and resize it if you want. I want to make it a little more realistic, and to do that we will double click here on the blank space of the scribble group layer to bring up the layer style dialog box and work with these blend if sliders. I'll hold this white anchor on the right of the underlying layer and bring it towards left, and you can see the blending. To make the transition smooth, we will hold the Alt or Option key and click on the anchor to split it and drag the right half to the extreme right, and now adjust the left half. I'm done, and now it's looking as if drawn on the paper itself. I'll again add a levels adjustment layer on top and adjust the sliders to add a little contrast. We are done with the scribble art, and in the last step we're gonna add some text to complete the poster. I'll be keeping it simple. Let's make the subject a little bigger, and I'll position it like this. Now I'm going to add a rectangular shape here, and for that we will activate the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. Change the fill color to a shade of red. We don't want any strokes. Reposition it a little. And now we'll take the text tool and click anywhere on the canvas and type in the text. For this I will be using a font called Creepy Notes, which I have downloaded from fonttest.com. Place it inside the rectangle and change the font color to white. we're gonna need a few more copies of the same, and for that we'll hold the Alt or Option key and click and drag to create a copy of the same, and then double click to edit it. And again bring up the layer styles of the rectangle layer and add a drop shadow to it. I'm going to use a darker shade of red for the drop shadow to give it an effect of light passing through it and falling on the background. And this completes our poster for today. Hope you have found this video informative and interesting. I have given the download links of all the resources we have used today in the description in case you want to use them in any of your projects. And if you want to refresh some more of your childhood nostalgia, then this is the video for you.
Märchenland, wir stehen zusammen, durch die Zeiten Hand in Hand.